Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, already Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Bo.
So, how are you?
Good, good.
Okay. So, is Vignesh coming today?
No idea. Did he say anything? I didn't check the.
The last time he said he was not coming, but this time he should come.
Yeah.
So, you are in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, but I live in Philadelphia. Yeah.
You're what?
City of Philadelphia. Yeah, state of Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to, long back, I used to live in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh.
And then I lived in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, I know Durham. I used to live there, North Carolina, many years. Yeah.
I've never been to ISKCON, Philadelphia.
Yesterday they opened. They have a center in Harrisburg. It is in Pennsylvania, right? It's the capital of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There are one Bhakti Tita Maharaj disciple and some group. They have installation of Gonitai.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there yesterday, all day, Kirtan and
Is it far from Philadelphia?
2 hours.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's sing a little bit.
Okay.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Satyadishatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Satyadishatarine Om Agyantimirandasya Ganamdala Dalamakaya Chakshumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Rave Namah Om Agyantimirandasya Ganam Ganam Shalakaya Chakshumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Svapadam Tikam Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam stapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadam Tadati Swapadam Tikam Shri Krishnam Chaitanyam Munijanam Yari Advaitam Gadada Shiva Sadikum Vaitali Indam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhunitananda Shri Advaitam Gadada Shiva Sadikum Vaitali Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Bhaktadi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhunitananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shiva Sari Om Bhaktavrinda Om Bhaktavrinda Om Bhaktavrinda Om Bhaktavrinda Nitai Gurango, Nitai Gurango, Tai Gurango, Gurale, Tai Gurango, Nitai Gurango, Tai Gurango, Gurale, Tai Sachinandanam, Tai Sachinandanam. Jai Satinandanam Gurare Jai Satinandanam Jai Satinandanam Jai Satinandanam Gurare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Madhu Shri Radhe Jai Radha Madhu Radha Govinda Madhu Shri Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Radhe Jai Radhe Radhe Jai Shri Radhe Jai Krishna Balaram Jai Krishna Balaram Balaram Jai Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jai Krishna Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Nitai Gauranibo, Haribo, Haribo, Haritai Gauranibo, Haritai Gauranibo. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Go, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Go, Hari Bol, Nita Go, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Shri Radha Govinda Madhav ki Jai. Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Shri Gonitai ki Jai. Shri Radha Govinda Madhav ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Rasamrit Singh. What's the name of the deities in Philadelphia?
Radha Sharad Bihari.
Radha Swarat.
Yeah, then there's Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, and Gonitai.
Wow, beautiful. Radha Swarat Bihari ki Jai.
Yeah,
Shri
yeah,
Jagannath.
there when Prabhupada was here.
Wow. Shri Jagannath Baladev Shrimati Subhadra ki Hiri Gonitai ki Jai. Yeah, I remember crossing through the city, but I never stopped. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so it's going on. Okay, great.
What happened to? What's going on with
Oh yeah, let me call him up. I don't know what's. Let's see. I remember he gave a message, but it was for last week. Viknesh. Let me switch. Let me stop the recording. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjara Sharakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tashmae Shri Gurave Namaha Vini Shaitanya Manubhishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Tapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Samjivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Shritanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Giri Vishakam Vitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Kupesh Gopika Kanta Radhakant Namostute Tapta Kanchani Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sutte Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanshakalpa Tarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Adwaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so where are we, Goloka? You remember?
Yeah, we did chapter 9.
Chapter what?
We did chapter 11.
Yeah, I think 12 also, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did 12 also. Yeah, so anything that struck you, anything you want to share, this is a good time. It's a list of, we are still within the 64 angas, remember?
Yeah.
So as if you're getting lost, do you have the book of Danuda Maharaj?
Yeah, I have it downloaded on my yeah.
Okay. So chapter 6 is a recap. There's 64 angas. 20, the first 20 are primary.
Yeah.
And 10 pravriti means anukul, you have to accept. And 10 nivriti, they should be avoided.
Yeah.
That's already 10 and 10, 20. And we discussed within those, within the 10 which are fundamental, one is Guru Padashraya, obviously. Just like the Gita says in the 13th chapter, the process of knowledge, Acharyopasanam, this is the key element. We need to accept Tasmat Guru Prapadyata Jigyashu Shleyotamam. We have to accept Guru. Then Shri Krishna Dikshadi Shikshanam, we have to also receive instruction, not only initiation. And then Vishrambena Guru Seva, we have to serve the Guru with faith, confidence. Then Sadhu Vartmanu Vartamam means just like Padeshamrit, we say Sato Vrite, we have to follow in the path of the sadhus. Saddharma Pricha, to inquire. Pricha means prichati, to inquire into Saddharma, the Sanatan Dharma precepts. Anyway, these are the 10 first, they are priority, we have to accept those. Yavad Artanuvartita means what is Anukul, we should accept. Anyway, I don't want to go over the fourth. We have covered quite a bit already.
Mhm.
And so then 10, 10, 20, then 64 minus 20, 44 left.
Yeah.
So they are just regular items and from different perspective. 30 are dealing with sadhana. So 20 plus 30, 50, minus 64, 14 are left. We have covered those in chapter 12. In other words, just as a recap, chapter 12, Yatha Vaishnav Mahotsav. Mahotsav, we know. We have to serve the Lord according to his position. Uja Vrat, this is the Kartik Vrat.
Mhm.
Then Shri Janma Dina Yatra, just like Janmastami. This is fundamental. We cannot avoid. If we don't go to Janmastami, it's Pap, actually. It's Aparad.
Mhm.
Ensuite, you have the final 5 items we're going to discuss at length today, but they are already kind of brushed up upon in the 12th chapter. Do you know the 5? The 5 is called Panchanga Bhakti. You know those 5, Goloka?
Yeah, like residing in Mathura, worshipping the deities,
Yeah,
and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam,
yeah.
chanting the holy name, Sankirtan, and worshipping Tulsi also is part of it,
Serving a devotee, yeah?
serving the devotees.
Sajatiya Snagda, there's a verse. Sajatiya, trying to remember that verse. It says, yes, it's Bhakti Rasamritindu 1:291. Shrimad Bhagavat Arthanam. So it means we have to be attracted by the meanings of Bhagavatam, not just reading casually, like you browse through an internet page. No. Shrimad Bhagavat Arthanam. Arthanam means meanings. We have to go into the meanings of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Then it goes, Sajatiya Shaye. I remember in France there was one lady, Sajatiya Devidasi. Sajatiya means similar.
Is this ladies from Nairobi? Is it Indian body?
Yeah, long back. I mean, at least.
Yeah, I know her. Yeah, I know her.
You know
She
her?
was Nairobi. I was cultivating there. We were
She
cultivating her. Then she ran away from her parent and came to France.
is it? Wow. And I think
Yeah, she's a Gujarati lady. Yeah.
I lost track because she ended up into what do you call it, Gujarat.
Oh, Gaudiya Math now?
I
Oh,
lost track, man. I mean, that's talking about 30 years ago, 35.
yeah.
And I remember she was in Paris in the early, I would say, late 80s, early 90s. And she got married to a French guy. His name was Shamanand Prabhu or something. I'm forgetting actually, but I remember she branched off to Gaudiya Math with the whole bunch of others. They kind of branched off from ISKCON Paris and they went down the south.
Mm.
Anyway, Sajatiya Shaye, it means those who have a similar disposition. When you hang out with devotees, obviously you're going to take those devotees, you have a similar disposition. Snigde means affection. So you have a similar type of affection and devotion. So like, let's say you like Bhagavatam, automatically you're going to hang out with others who like Bhagavatam. You like puja. Many of your friends are pujaris. This is what it means. Sajatiya Shaye Snigde. Then Sadho Sangha Svatovare. We should associate with devotees who are better, ideally, more advanced. Svato Vari means they are better than oneself. So this is what Rupa Goswami says, actually. So, yeah, and those 5 angas are extremely powerful. I don't know if you know the verse. There's a verse. It says, Duru adbut viryesmin, Shrada Dures tu panchake, Yatras falpopi sambandha, Sadyam bhava janmane. Just like you say, I remember Dinamando used to say Durban in South Africa. He used to crack a joke. This is a Durban, this is a Durban, Vana, a very far away forest of Vrindavan. Durban, he used to say. So, Duru Adbut, it means even if you have a far distant faith in those 5, not talking about strong faith here. Duru Adbut. Adbut means, like we say, Adbut Mandir. Adbut means marvelous, something which is extremely astonishing. Those 5 are so outstanding that even if you have a far distant Shraddha Dure Stupanchake, Shraddha Dure means Tad Dure Tadvantike, in Sri Upanishad. Very far. Krishna can eat, he's very far, he's very near. Tad Dure Tadvantike. So Shraddha Dure means he's got to, even if you have only a far fetched Shraddha, still there will be Virya. Adbhuta Virya means that will be very powerful. Even if you have a faint faith. Yatra Svalpopi Sambandha, Svalpo, Alpo, when you say in Mayapur, or Alpo, I want a little rice, not much. So Yatra Svalpopi Sambandha, your Sambandha is Alpo. It's a little Sambandha with those 5. Not strong. Sadyam means if you're not offensive, even though you have a faint faith, your connection with those 5 angas are very alpo, mediocre. Sadyam, if you're not offensive, bhav janmane, you're going to get bhav bhakti. Can you imagine? It's a very powerful slok. 238. Do you have any questions? Are you there? No?
Yeah, I'm here.
So it means it doesn't even depend on faith. Can you imagine? You take a medicine, you better have faith, okay? But even if you don't have much faith, you take it begrudgingly. Still it's going to work. So this is those 5 angas are so powerful. This is what it means here. So in other words, Rupa Goswami himself, Jiva Goswami explained that Rupa Goswami himself is developing ecstasy when he mentioned those verses. He has ecstasy.
Yeah.
This is, even he himself, the author, is totally taken aback by...
I'm just thinking,
Yes?
how do they have all this knowledge? Is it revealed from internal or something? Like Rupa Goswami?
Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
He's coming, he's a Vishnu Parikar. It's directly Shri Rup Manjari Pan. And you know the verse, the song of Bhaktivinoda Narottam, I think. Shri Rup Manjari Pad is himself Rupa Manjari. He is the main Manjari in the spiritual world. He's the group leader. He's a Ragatmika Bhakta. He's an eternal associate of the divine couple.
Yeah.
So I mean, this person is nothing to do with India, nothing to do with 16th century. It's an eternal little girl coming from the inner circle of Krishna.
Yeah. But with devotee, we can understand that. How to explain it to the person?
You have to, yeah, that's a good point. You have to tell them, look, sir, that you don't think everyone is conditioned like me and you. There's some souls which are traversing this earth just for the sake of reclaiming the devotees. Not everyone is on the same level. This person is Nitya Siddha Parikar, Vishnu Parikar. And we have to explain to them that il y a guerre sans kirtan prayer, il y a gentil hi sumedata. Sango Pangastra Parshanam, they are Mahaprabhu comes, and before Mahaprabhu you find his companions, during his sojourn, and after. Prabhupada, who is Prabhupada? Prabhupada is on the same caliber. He's coming after Mahaprabhu. Bhaktisiddhanta, Saraswati Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, they're all from that caliber. So people have to understand, not everyone is on the same level. It's just like you play piano, and there is Mozart, who can become Mozart.
Yeah.
The guy lived 250 years ago. He's still considered a virtuoso. One can come close to Mozart. So Rupa Goswami is like that, is Mozart of Bhakti. So they have to understand that not everyone is on the same level.
Yeah.
So now let's carry on.
You're still in chapter 13?
Yeah, I just started chapter 13. I'm shifting from the book of Dhanodhar Maharaj to the original book of Rup Goswami. So here it says, they're going to break it down. We're going to discuss about those 5 angas, one by one. So the power of serving the deities. Oh, my friend, if you desire to enjoy with your friends and relatives, don't look upon the form of the Lord, called Govind, wandering near Keshigat on the bank of Yamuna, with a slight smile on his lips, posed with 3 bands in his body, Tribhanga Sundar. If you come to New Mayapur, you will see this is the most Tribhanga Sundar in the whole world of ISKCON.
Oh, Radha Madhav, Govinda Madhav?
Oh, yeah. You cannot beat them. They're extremely Tribhanga. Eyes glancing everywhere in a crooked fashion, flute placed on his red lower lip like a tender bird, and shining gloriously with a peacock feather. So this is the power of seeing the deity. So Rup Goswami practically is experiencing ecstasy in writing those shlokas. And then he's going to glorify now Bhagavatam, which is one of the anga. It's called Sri Bhagavat Artha Svado. We have to, ideally, we should hear Bhagavatam from a more senior devotee. And ideally, someone who has a similar type of affection. This is Rupa Goswami. Oh, idiots. He started like this. Idiots. How unfortunate you are. I think you must have been hearing all the syllables one by one of the verses of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, because your ears are now denouncing Purusharth. Purusharth, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So this is the power of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read Srimad Bhagavatam, you're going to decry the regular pursuit of religiosity. You know, like people go to church. Why they go to church? We know. They have an axe to grind. Dharma, yes, I want to be religious. Why? Art, because I want to become rich, or I want to be at least well off. I want to, my son, my daughter, you know, they should be also happy. So yes, I'm going to church. I'm a good guy. Dharma, artha, kam. Yes, I want to enjoy in a religious way, of course. I want to, but at least, you know, we should be enjoying. It's normal. Then moksha. So Prabhupada Goswami says, if you have understood Bhagavatam, you will bypass those five, those four. It's called Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. In other words, even liberation will become, we have discussed in the beginning of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it will become, you will deride even. That's very high. You will deride the concept of liberation. And of course, Danodar Maharaj explained that Prabhupada was very sharp because ISKCON is built on those five. See? Everywhere you go, you know, you find lavish deity worship.
Mhm.
You find Bhagavatam in the morning, sometimes at night, Gita. Chanting, a lot of chanting, bhajan, kirtan, jap, sadhu sangha everywhere.
Yeah.
And over and above everything else, he has opened tremendous, big-sized temples in Vrindavan and Mayapur, you know, way more than Paris or London, because he wanted to establish his ISKCON more powerfully in those holy dams, you know. So this is the power of this Panchanga Bhakti, you know, even they can confer bhav. There's one criteria though, sadiyam, if you're not offensive. If you are offensive, then even Panchanga Bhakti will have a hard time to confer bhav. This is the point. So now we're going to discuss how these five items are each and every one of those five items, they evoke bhav. So we have read that verse from Rupa Goswami, don't go to the Keshi Ghats if you are still after friends, mundane love, and families. And
I have a question there.
Yeah.
I know in Vrindavan there's some devotee who's really like very simple hearted, and you know they commit offenses also, but still they're there in Vrindavan.
They still what?
They're still in Vrindavan.
How do you know they commit offenses?
Because Sito, one of my person that I know, has told me what they did there, you know.
Or your friend told you they are committing offenses?
Yeah, but they're still in Vrindavan.
Yeah, so it depends what type of offenses, you know. Like I was in Vrindavan for many years, 10 years, even Mayapur, but I found myself way out there. I'm in the West now. So it means I must have committed more severe offenses than they, you know. It's I mean, personally, I feel that if you find yourself out of the dam, especially after having been there for a long time, there's an offense you must have committed. Unless even the very fact that you want to live, you know, for some good reason, you may say, well, I don't know, I need to make a living in the West, blah, blah, blah. It could be very well grounded, but behind it all, you lost the mercy somewhere. Otherwise, why if you are very weak, you are allowed to stay. You're not allowed to stay on the strength of your advancement. You're allowed to stay on the strength of kripa. You know what I'm saying? And then one day you find yourself, well, I don't know what happened, but I left because of this, because of that, and then when you look deeper into it, because actually you lost the mercy. That's my understanding.
Just say, don't look at the, try to look for Shama Sundar if you still have material desires.
Yeah, so the question could arise then. I'm gonna be a little crooked. I can say, why then, even you may be in Vrindavan, you look at Sri Radha Shama Sundar, and you still have attraction to some extent, not big time perhaps, but at least to some extent you're still attracted to, mundane love and let's say material pursuits to some extent, a little bit. It means if you have that, you won't be able to stay. Krishna knows your heart. So he say, okay, then better you fulfill those desires in a Krishna conscious way with my grace, but you don't have to be in Vrindavan for that. Vrindavan basically means Nivritti Marg. Means you have kind of, just like Krishna says in 12.5, not 12, sorry, 12.2, you must be done with material lust. You must be done with, you must be done with a lot of things. There's a verse like this. I think it's 12, no, sorry, it's beginning of the 15th chapter. Yeah. 15.5. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme, attain to that eternal kingdom. So if you fit in that description, 15.5, then definitely Vrindavan is a good place to be. You are doing well. So you go to Vrindavan and you get the fruit of your pursuit, further, quicker, yes. But if you don't at all fit this description of 15.5, you just go there casually. You may stay a few weeks, no problem. You may stay a few weeks, even a few months, but at one point you will find yourself within yourself the drive. Oh, I got to go back now. I have to do this, I have to do that. And then Krishna will put so many reasons for why you have to leave. You follow?
Yeah, only fortunate people. I don't know.
Sorry?
Later was talking to you. I know, she was looking for husband or something in Vrindavan.
Yeah, that's risky, That's risky.
But she's still there.
Yeah, perhaps, if she found the guy, she found the husband there, and then she got married, and then well and good, no problem. So she passed the test if she's still there.
The thing is that she's still looking in, and I don't know.
Yeah, but then she's still looking okay, but at least that doesn't overshadow.
The thing is that they have a tendency of,
Sorry.
one doesn't work, go to other, something like that.
Yeah, this is very dangerous. You know, those devotees, women are more discreet. They may not do that, but devotees going there to find a lady, you know, it's wow, that's a bit risky, you know. You know, go to at least Mayapur is more lenient, I would say. Okay. So yes, definitely, Srimad Bhagavatam is what he does actually. I noticed what he does, Dhanodhar Maharaj. He just paraphrases the verse of Rupa Goswami. You cannot invent. You just have to paraphrase. So now serving a devotee, which is the one of the item of the five. Of course, it says in Upadeshamrita, I don't know if you remember, verse 5. Ideally, we should serve a devotee in whom, the propensity to criticize is gone. This is a very powerful example. If you serve someone who's devoid of the propensity to criticize, you make extremely rapid advancement. Extremely rapid. So that's what he says here, Rupa Goswami. That devotee is quite advanced.
It's very hard, you know, like if you have
It's very hard, yeah.
some ill feeling towards somebody, you want to serve him, you know.
Yeah, I know it's not easy.
Maybe advanced devotee can put.
Yeah, so that's why in one sense, you know, if you go back to the West for preaching is great also. Prabhupada said the West is only good for two things: sense gratification and preaching. Prabhupada was extremely categorical, you know. If you don't preach in the West, the tendency is you're going to end up enjoying. This is, it's there's only two sides of the same coin, basically. But here, Rupa Goswami, of course, he wrote that in the 16th century, and so yeah, he's saying that since I have seen Krishna, I'm washing Krishna by the tears of my eyes. This is very high, you know. Then, of course, he's got ecstasy because of that. Then I become totally useless when it comes to material occupational duties. I cannot stay at home. I have to go out. You know, the person is not himself. He cannot function properly. So he's saying that actually by associating with devotees, but of course it implies advanced devotees, those who are enriched with devotional symptoms. It has tremendous potency to inspire Krishna consciousness. That is why I think, you know, devotees go to Narayan Maharaj and all the other mad, because they come under the impression that there's not many advanced devotees in ISKCON. So and they are stuck on those kind of verses, you know, that says, yes, you should find a pure devotee who is advanced spiritually. Then they are drawn to searching outside.
Yeah, but now Maharaj gone, you know, now all Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Devote, you know, leading everything.
Yeah.
So is it just by going to Narayan Maharaj they become advanced?
No. But what I'm saying, they're going to be using. Well, of course, I don't know Narayan Maharaj. I met him only one time in '94. But what I'm trying to say is, these kind of verses which we are discussing, this is the reason why they kind of check it out outside of ISKCON, because it's written, you know, very clearly. You have to find a devotee who is enriched with devotional symptoms. You know, he's got perhaps Bhav Bhakti. So, you cannot say it's not Shastric. It is Shastric. So they say, well, I can't find it here. This is a danger. Let me go outside. And Prabhupada was not in favor of that. So we have to find pockets, like, I don't know if you know Madhavanand Prabhu. You know him?
He live in Jagatpuri?
Yeah. He's been around he joined in 82 or something. He's disciple of Gaur Govind Maharaj. So this kind of pocket, he goes online a lot. He's not having huge entourage and huge following, even though it's quite steady. He has written many books, or what he does, he translates books also. He's quite prolific. But I mean,
he's very erudite scholar, knows the Shastra and all.
He's quite good. And what I like is quite mellow and non-assuming, He's not a guru, but he's quite well versed and extremely, I would say,
like Amarendra.
Yeah, Amarendra is definitely, I know him much less, but very young, but extremely sadhvik.
Learned, yeah.
Yeah. So this, you find pockets in ISKCON. Even you may not be in the same region, but online you can associate. Like Madhavanand, I tend to follow. I receive there's a group on WhatsApp. I receive stuff from him. I listen. I relish actually. So yes, so this is good. That's what we should be doing. Try to associate online.
Yeah, one time I listened to a podcast. There was discussion with this scientist devotee. He also a scholar. He's a brahmachari, Chaitanya. What's his name?
Well, there's a lot in Shopati, Chaitanya, Gauranga Darshan and Gauranga and Chaitanya.
And they have a podcast with Madhavananda. Yeah, then that's the first time I listened to him. Yeah.
Chaitanya Charan, I think. Chaitanya Charan in
Charan, yeah.
In Shopati, yeah. I mean, these are very solid devotees. Chaitanya, Gauranga Darshan, they're very staunch brahmachari and very extremely well. Naturally,
you can see the sincerity on the face,
Yeah, you can see that they are reaping the fruits of long years of practice properly. They are reaping the fruits. This is not a joke. They're not.
No, like you look advanced.
Yeah, they are. You can see
behavior, by the talk, by the by the faith in Krishna consciousness and everything else.
So we cannot deny. We cannot say like I was saying. They leave ISKCON. Oh, there's no one advanced. Forget it. No, it's a fault to say that. They don't know how to search, or perhaps they're jumping to hasty conclusions. So anyway, it says here, serving a devotee. Yeah. Samut Kanta, as you know, there's 9 symptoms in Bhav Bhakti. We haven't discussed of that. Will come very soon in chapter 17. You will see there's 9 symptoms, and one is Samut Kanta, means intense eagerness. Someone who's advanced, he doesn't fool around, he doesn't waste time. There's another symptom is Avyarta Karadvam, he doesn't waste time. He's always he's quite systematic. I remember I used to work with Jananivas Prabhu, extremely focused, and doesn't waste time. Then the next item is chanting Hare Krishna, the jap. So, of course, each time Rupa Goswami is going to quote a verse, and he says, the saints have been able to hear the vibrating strings of the Veena of Narad Muni. Because Narad is always singing the glories of Krishna. And since that sound vibration entered my ears, I'm feeling the presence of the Supreme. And thus, one of the side effects is I'm becoming bereft of attachment for material enjoyment. So this is basically, of course, Rupa Goswami is such a high devotee. He's always speaking on the very high platform of devotional service. Bhav will produce virakti. Virakti means strong indifference, strong detachment. And of course, kirtan is more powerful than jap. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say it's 100 times more powerful. Then residing in Mathura. So when we say Mathura, it means, you know, like you are in ISKCON Philadelphia, it's as good as Mathura, you know. And of course, Srila Rupa Goswami describes how it should be like. He's going to depict Vrindavan beauty, the Yamuna, the Kadambas, the chirping birds. We should go to Vrindavan regularly, at least once a year. You know.
For me, I'm planning to go.
You should go. I was there one year ago. Yeah.
I hope it works. You know.
No, we
in
should.
2000, when the year of COVID, I wanted to go, you know. Then COVID, I couldn't go, you know. Then
Yeah. No, we should make it a point, especially when we grow older like us, you know. We should not take a chance. We should start gradually, not overnight, but gradually wrapping up, you know. Because this is the place, you know, where it's evoking Bhav. At least little glimpses of Bhav are there, you know. You see the birds, you go to Takadamba, you know, it's very conducive. It's very soothing, those places. You don't have to.
yeah, now after so many years in ISKCON, like if you go there, you know, you understand the spiritual power, you know. You don't go like
Yeah, you know, we should live according to our age also.
yeah.
You know, we should not, like, we have to respect the age of devotees. Someone who is 50 cannot act the same as someone who's 25,
Yeah.
And this is what it is, you know. And of course, in regard to that Anga residing in Mathura, of course, it's very high. I mean, this book is very high to start with. Jiva Goswami, you know, it goes so high. He says transcendental realizations of beauty and bliss indicates mental realization of one's eternal serving mood. Svarup Siddhi, you know, they are so high. He's saying Svarup Siddhi occurs at the level of Bhav Bhakti. Do you know what is Svarup Siddhi?
What your relationship with Krishna Swarup?
Yeah. You are reinstated in your Svarup. Can you imagine? It's very, very high. This is
in what relationship you serve Krishna in the spiritual world?
Yeah. It's beyond Maya. It's way beyond Nirgun and all these things discussed.
I remember one time there were some devotees, you know, they were talking, oh, what is your Siddha Deha? What it must be a world. They were talking like that. There was big political, you know, discussion that this is people are sahaja. Some of my friends only know.
Yeah, we have to be careful. It will be revealed, but personally, I'm very far from that.
Yeah. So, I don't even love it.
But Prabhupada did say, even Govind Maharaj used to say, we should know it is there. You know, we should not at the same time obliterate, oh, it's beyond me, so I don't even look at it. I don't even consider it exists. No, this is Maya. At least you should know it is there. It should be, how do you say, it should emulate. Yes, this is the verb. It should emulate a stronger disposition in our heart. Yes, I want to get there. You know, that should emulate that. Yes, I want to get there. If not in this life, but at least I want to know, because I want to get free. Because once you're into Swarup Siddhi, you can, Maya has no grasp on you. It's finished. Finished. Way before that, even. You know, there's different level. Nirgun Bhakti, then Brahmabhut, you are self-realized soul. Then, and gradually only Swarup Siddhi. And that Prabhupada says, not Prabhupada here, is that, I mean, it's Prabhupada, of course, it's Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada, and then, what's his name? Danodar Maharaj. He says, that occurs on the level of Bhav. And Rupa Goswami tends to say, even if you're neophyte, you can have glimpses of Bhav in Vrindavan. It's true. I agree. The place is so powerful. Mayapur saying, Puri, that even at times you can have little glimpses. That's why we should go, because if you don't go, it tends to fade away, you know. Even though, you know, like New Mayapur is transcendental, I agree. Prabhupada went there, you know, but still you cannot put it in the same footing as Vrindavan, you know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the place is holy. I know. It's been there for 40 years, 50 years. But as soon as you step out, it's not your world. Vrindavan, the whole place is transcendental. Some people will yell at me if they hear me. Are you there?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Vrindavan, you know, I stayed there 6 months, you know, Vrindavan alone in my mind. I'm just thinking when the opportunity time will come, I'll go there.
That's why we should become a little bit aloof from, you know, the family and grandchildren. And we had our time. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a time for everything. This is my understanding.
There's a time for everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, praying to
yeah, you know, I'm sure you will manage. Krishna will bless you. So Rupa Goswami says we should not fall into the trap that this is over exaggerations, all these things, you know. Oh, they're doing that just for the sake of to encourage us in our Krishna consciousness, you know. No. Rupa Goswami said, no, I'm not exaggerating. But again, provided you are sadhyam, offenseless, that's a different discussion now. If you are offensive, then all these things will not happen, you know. Then you will be kicked out.
It's about offenses. Sometimes you may commit offenses unknowingly, like you don't want to, you just...
Yeah, that's a very good point. You know, there's different types of aparad. First of all, we have to distinguish between pap and aparad. It's not the same. Huh? Gokul Maharaj is quite emphatic. Pap he gives the example of when you wipe off a table with a sponge, you know. The table may be dirty. You just had dinner and for 5 persons, you have to clean up the place. Okay, there's some stains of whatever, you know, some sauce as spilled on the napkin, and you just scratch a little bit. I mean, you put water, you scratch it, and you come back 10 minutes later, it's gone. The tablecloth is fine. So this is pap. But aparad is much more, how do you say, nasty and sticky, you know. There's different types of aparad. There's nam aparad, there is seva aparad, there's dham aparad. You're in the dham. You do nonsense in the dham, it's heavy stuff. Vaishnava aparad, jiva aparad, you know, that's more heavy. That's heavier than pap. So we have to be careful. That is why, ideally.
But what if we don't recognize, Yeah,
Sorry?
aparad. We know there are different kind of aparad, but sometimes you don't recognize it. You don't know where you committed an offense.
Okay, so Namaparad, as you know, we sing in the morning.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
10, 11 offenses.
This one we can identify. I know.
Yeah, then there's
at-
Seva Aparad. Let's say you are a Pujari. Seva Aparad means mostly Pujari. Let's say when you dress the Lord, you with a needle, you touch his body, and you made a mistake. You hurt him with your needle. You know, when you put let's say the garment on his shoulder, you unfortunately, inadvertently, you touch his body. That's Seva Aparad. But of course, if you apologize, with great repentance, I'm very sorry. But it's Seva Aparad. This is Seva Aparad, while dressing the Lord. Vaishnava Aparad, that's Sevi. Vaishnava Aparad, is called Sadhunind. Sadhunind means Ninda to Sadhu. You have been, oftentimes this one is quite, we are prone to that. We tend to bicker with one devotee, or we tend, even if you're not happy to see a devotee, let's say you see someone coming from America, you don't like the person, and all of a sudden you see him or see her popping out in Vrindavan, and your first impression, you don't say, of course, it's only and Krishna. You're not so happy to see him. That's what it is about. Of course, you may say, well, in Kali Yuga, the mental apparat do not count, which is true. But ideally, we should be happy. Oh, I know him. Let me greet him. Like that. So Vaishnava apparat are extremely grievous. And of course, the epitome of Vaishnava apparat is Guru Avagya. Guru apparat. Disrespect the Guru. Even though he may be gone, mine is gone. I mean, gone in one sense, no, because Guru is eternal, but at least he's gone from my sight. So you may become lax in your practice. You may, find fault with him. All these things are grievous obstacles, Jiva Parad, let's say, I used to be very heavy long back with rickshawwala, they used to cheat me. I used to yell at them, and, so that's Jiva Parad.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? In the dam, you
Yeah.
have to be careful, it's
Yeah, when people cheat you, sometimes you get upset with them. Yeah.
yeah. I remember long back, I was very violent even. I remember that. I used to I topple over the rickshaw sometimes. I was so heavy, long back. I was a young guy. So, most probably I committed lots of, that's why perhaps I left. I mean, even though I had good reason to leave, I remember. But at the end of the day, I live in France. And I was 10 years in the dam. So something happened, and others from my time, they're still there. So, Krishna gave them a different path because I guess they had the proper. Personally, I pray to Krishna that I can finish my life in the dam. At least I hope he will grant me that.
Yeah,
It's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's not cheap to think, well, I just cruise in the dam and everything's gonna happen automatically. It's not like that at all.
Well, you had to live there, also you had to pay rent.
You have to pay the rent, and you
have to food.
you need some money also. You cannot live like a mendicant.
No, yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
What I used to do is live in the dam, and a few months a year go back to the west, make on the pick, as we say, go on the pick, sell paintings and mandalas, and make a little cash and come back. And I used to do that for years, and I was fine. I was fine. Krishna, he understood. Yes, no problem. Go ahead. So, yeah.
That's the same holding in the West.
Sorry?
financial security.
Yeah,
That the
that's
that the
also there. That's also
yeah,
there, you know.
yeah, just waiting. I get a little bit older so that I can get some kind of money from the government.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And perhaps something
then I will be steady with my finance and I can.
and perhaps with your children can pinch in a little bit, you know, or something.
Yeah, definitely she will pinch.
Yeah, you know.
But the thing is she doesn't want me to go.
Ah, bah oui. Yeah, but
She
at the
doesn't
same
want.
time, you know, she has to understand that
She knows. Yeah, she doesn't
my
want me to
mother
go.
has to move on in her
Yeah,
spiritual life. Huh?
yeah, but they don't want you to go and live forever. I say you can go and visit and just come back.
Yeah, and at the same time, they give you the kids to take care of, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, anyway, I guess Krishna is very, very kind and sharp. He's going to give us the realization that now it's the time. When the timing is coming, you cannot miss that door, you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
all these things are not over exaggerations or overestimations. It's clear that those 5 items can evoke bhav. So now, Rupa Goswami makes a beautiful point. He says, when you practice those 64 points, 64 items, you know, we discussed at length, sometimes they reward you with various worldly benedictions. So why is that? You know, let's say you're a good devotee and you know you've been practicing properly for quite a long time, even decades, and you find yourself with a good job, beautiful wife, and lovely kids, and some material facilities. And sometimes it happens very early in your spiritual life. I've seen devotees, you know, everything is happening for them. They join, they're quite good, and you know, they are quite rapid in their advancement. They're sharp in giving classes. They're good singer, good looking. The guy gets married very easily. Then very quickly he has a good job. Everything is happening for him. So sometimes we come to the conclusion, wow, he must be quite advanced actually. That could be true, but Rupa Goswami says it can also be the way of Krishna of attracting this person by giving him mundane assets in his life. So to solidify his faith, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I've seen devotees. I remember in my batch when I joined Damodar, one devotee in UK. The guy was, after a few years' time, he was TP of the manor. And I was like, you know, I was like millions of miles away from that level. He was running the manor. Have you seen the manor, the size of the manor?
Yeah. That lives there.
And I was like, he was like me, 2-3 years devotee, 2-3 years son. But he was sharp. He was
What is his name?
Damodar.
Oh.
And I remember he used to give classes, nice classes, even in front of Guru Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj. And I was like very impressed. I said, wow, this person is special. We had about the same seniority, you know. And then we got married the same day. His wife, his former wife, and my former wife also, we got married same day. And so, and you know, very quickly he like he shot off to the sky. You know, he like soaring high. Then of course he got divorced, and then he shifted to New Zealand. Then he got totally involved into, you know, those 7, you know, I don't know if you remember in those days, the 7 principles of management or something.
Yeah.
And he made a career out of that.
Mm.
So he kind of disappeared from the scene. And you know, when I recall that person, I was thinking it must be very advanced. But Rupa Goswami says not necessarily. That is a way of Krishna of attracting certain persons, giving him lots of mundane assets to help him out, to have faith in those 64. You know what I'm saying? Now, we're going to conclude now. At the end of the chapter here, it's mentioned that some practice may look like bhakti, but I'm going to ask you, are there real bhakti actually? Vanashram, Gyan, Vairagya. Are there bhakti or not?
It's help you to advance him to go toward bhakti, they're not pure bhakti.
Yeah, so first of all, technically speaking, Vanashram is not bhakti. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you notice in the 64 Angas, it doesn't appear even once.
Mm-hmm.
So Rupa Goswami says that.
Even renunciation.
Yeah, true. We'll come to that after. By the way, Gyan and Vairagya, it's such an important item, those two items. It is such an important discussion to find out whether they are Bhakti Anga or not, that the next chapter 14 is dedicated to those two. So I will discuss that in chapter 14. But for the time being, I want to discuss about Vanashram, because Rupa Goswami is very categorical. He said, no, it's not Bhakti. But then he goes, a devotee who is not yet fully attracted to unalloyed glorification of Krishna. You know, you're not on that level. You cannot, you can do, yes, you can, but not all day. You cannot glorify purely Krishna all day. So, because let's say you're married, you have to do stuff for your family. He may utilize Vanashram to regulate and purify his distracting material desires. You follow?
Yeah.
So, in other words, strictly speaking, no, we cannot say it's bhakti, because you will lose that question. You will get bad. I mean, you won't get good points for that. But you can say it's like a safety net. You know, a safety net.
Yeah.
You know, at least you stick to your Vanashram duties. You don't fall down. You don't fall down. You know, it's always the same. I know some couples in Paris, you know, the girl is not so Krishna conscious. The guy is more Krishna conscious. They've got 3 kids. And when the poor guy starts chanting, she said, no, we have stuff to do. You know, we have a company, and the guy is struggling because of that. You know, it must be hard for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to practice, and she's always gets on his case, you know, spend more time with the family, more time on the business. So, you know what I'm saying? He's hampered in his devotion because of that. Because she doesn't see the necessity to chant so much Hare Krishna, you know. He sees, but she doesn't see. So, hence the necessity to marry someone of the same guna karma.
Yeah.
Because it's called anulom or pratilom, you know?
Yeah.
Anulom pratilom. So, yes, it is somewhat useful if Vanashram can help you to at least regulate your material desires. And of course, the example is given of the marriage. Obviously, marriage is not a bhakti anga, but it can help. You know, let's say it helps you to regulate your mind. You avoid sin. At least you are duly married to this lady. Okay, so at least you are properly situated. And another consideration of Vanashram, just like Sutta Goswami, what is that verse? Ata pumbir dvijashreshta vanashram vibhagashaha svanushthitasya dhammasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. If you do your duties perfectly, but they are not aimed at
Mhm.
pleasing the Lord, then it's useless. You know what I'm saying? It's literally, it practically, it becomes Asuric Vanashram. You know,
Mhm.
like you go to France, you will find military persons, you will find farmers, you will find bankers, you will find people working in the factories. They follow Vanashram, but this is Asuric because they don't intend to please Krishna. So it can be considered at best a subsidiary item of bhakti. In other words, we should be doing Vanashram for the sake of purifying ourselves.
Mm.
Then it can be considered subsidiary, not even primary aspect of bhakti.
Mm. But Prabhupada wanted to establish the Varnashram.
Yeah. So we should not spit on it, definitely.
Yeah,
I
and
know
I say
bhakti.
it's not bhakti. It's help you to advance to go toward bhakti, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, some devotee will bless me if they. I know if Bhakti Raghav Maharaj would hear that class, he's going to bless me severely because I know him. Devarshi Prabhu, I don't know if you know Devarshi.
Yeah.
This kind of devotees, they are only vowing their whole life is Vanashram, and that they become specialized in Vanashram.
Yeah.
And they will say, I mean, and it makes sense when you listen to them. You can type in Raghava Swami, Raghava Maharaj. He's got one
Yeah.
leg. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
He's from Canada, and he's
Yeah.
totally dedicated to Vanashram institution.
Yeah, we wrote some books on Varnashram. Then another Maharaj, I forgot his name. He's a
And,
scholar from London. He's a British devotee. He's a guru also. What's his name?
and they are quite heavy. They're saying most of ISKCON leaders haven't understood what is Vanashram. So I'm just repeating my lesson, but at the same time they will not agree with me. They will say no. Yeah, unless you follow Vanashram, they go the other side of the pendulum. They will say, unless you follow Vanashram, you cannot make it. And they have very powerful reasons. Huh?
Hmm.
Let me see what Vishwanath says. Let me try to see back to the book of Rupa Goswami, the original book. Let's see. But of course, we have to remember they wrote those books in the 16th century.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying here, the consensus of those knowledgeable of bhakti is that karma, Vanashram duties, is not an anga of bhakti. So it's very emphatic. It's not. So now Vishwanath says, someone may argue as follows.
Mm-hmm.
True, there is glorification of all the angas of pure bhakti, above all other processes. But Parashamuni, the father of Vyasadeva, he has glorified karma. And you know the verse, Vishnu Puran, and there's a verse. It's a beautiful verse. Vanashrama Sharavyata Purushena Parapuman Vishnu Alajate Panta Nanyatat Tosh Karanam. The Supreme Lord Vishnu is to be worshipped by men through the duties of Vanashram. There is no other path for satisfying the Lord. So see, can you imagine? It's a verse from Vishnu Puran. It says there is no other way than Vanashram. So Vishwanath, he goes into that direction. He goes, this Vishnu Puran verse substantiates that karma is an anga of bhakti. For in that verse, there is evident approval for worshipping Vishnu in combination with Vanashram activities. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Tagore tends to agree, yes. But then he goes, however, the author, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a book of Rupa Goswami. The author states that the consensus of those thoroughly experience in Bhakti, the pure devotees, including even Parasha, is otherwise. So you can see not everyone agrees.
Yeah.
Not everyone agrees. Rupa Goswami is categorically saying no. Vishwanath and Parasha Muni are softer. Another verse of Parasha Muni from Vishnu Puran. Parasha Muni is a great soul. He's the father of Vyasadeva. He's the main speaker of Vishnu Puran. O Maitreya, King Bharat simply said, O Yagesh, O Achyut, Govind, Madhav, Anand, Keshav, Krishna, Vishnu, Rishikesh. He said nothing else, even in his dreams. Thus, the statement quoted from Vishnu Puran that approves Vanashram as Bhakti has been spoken only to encourage those persons who are not qualified for pure Bhakti. So they're saying, in other words, they're saying, yes, sometimes we are encouraging Vanashram, but it's only for those devotees who are not qualified for pure Bhakti.
Pure Bhakti.
But again, I've been listening a little bit to Raghav Maharaj, Raghav Swami. It's very emphatic. Huh? And he's saying, especially for Videshis, for Westerners, unless we follow Vanashram properly, we may have difficulty look at them. Let's be very practical. Look at the divorce rate in ISKCON.
Yeah.
I think I heard it's 80%. I don't know if it's true. So that is a Vanashrama consideration marriage, isn't it? So if the Vanashram is happening well in ISKCON, why there is the rate is higher than the non-devotees? You follow?
Yeah.
So that is why Raghava Swami, he says, I don't agree. He's very emphatic. You listen to his classes. I don't agree that it is to be considered as a sub-item. Even though technically, yes, he agrees, it's not Bhakti Anga, but he says ISKCON is suffering.
Is important.
He says very clearly, ISKCON is suffering because of neglect of Vanashram in ISKCON. I mean, let's be honest. Oftentimes devotees get married and they haven't a clue how to act as a man, and the lady hardly also, she hasn't been trained. So they just get married because of attraction, or he gives good classes, or she's cute. And then, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, they have one or two kids, and finally it doesn't work out.
Yeah, a lot of marriage been done, not like you say, according to the guna, the same guna of the other person.
Yeah. So, part of Vanashram is, as Prabhupada was right, we haven't, he told us, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my job. You have to implement Vanashram.
Yeah, because we have like some men who's very high calibers, they're so advanced, they just marry somebody who doesn't know about Krishna consciousness. Some women also are very advanced and spiritualized, they marry somebody who's not so Krishna consciousness. Then marriage doesn't work.
Personally, I was, in the past, I used to be more blunt to say that, well, like it is written in the Shastra, it's secondary, forget it. But I start to put water in my wine. Because with age, I realized that even myself, I wish I had been trained. Instead of learning as you go through the Grihastha Ashram, you're learning at the same time, you commit a lot of mistakes. And that can lead to divorce, because you married, you didn't consider the astrology of your marriage, or
Yeah.
You didn't consider the guna karma of your marriage, and oh, it's good enough. My guru wants it. Why Prabhupada stopped even marrying his devotees?
Mm.
Because it was a fiasco. Why Bhakti Saru Maharaj stopped even?
Mm.
He told me it was a fiasco. So there's definitely this is where we are quite we are falling short of the mark. We cannot deny ISKCON is. We are still it's still a new movement.
Yeah.
I hope in the future they're going to fill the gap because
We're still like not following Varnasama in
no.
marriage, We're not matching the two.
I was speaking to one girl. She told me something beautiful, and I was shocked. She said, "Wow, she has realization." She said, "When you marry, you want a husband, then a devotee." She made a very good point, and I was, coming from a girl, I understood. She taught me something, because oftentimes, oh, I'm a devotee. Yes, but are you also a husband? Oh, I'm a devotee. That's good enough, and that's not what the lady wants. She wants a husband and a devotee. But if you're just a devotee and not a husband, she's not going to be happy. Isn't it true?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, they need both, because people need cares, attention, because this is a psychological thing in everybody,
Yeah, you need to care.
Self-actualization, like people
I
have
remember,
you have to be recognized. You cannot be ignored.
yeah, this reminds me of the story of Vishwambar. I
Mhm.
don't know if you know Vishwambar Prabhu. He told me the
Yeah.
story. Vishwambar is the first disciple of Ramakrishna Maharaj in Europe. You know him?
There was one Viswambar, he was like a guru or something.
No,
25.
that's a Canadian Vishwambar.
Yeah.
No, I know him. He used to be in France. But talking about the Italian devotee Vishwambar Prabhu,
I don't,
he used to live. I lost track, but he used to be in UK. I forgot where he is now. He told me a beautiful story when he got married. He got married, but organized by his guru Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So he married them, and then very shortly after the marriage, he asked the Vishwambar, his disciple, do you love your wife? So he goes, yeah, it's fine. And then again, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, do you love your wife? Well, it's fine, Guru Maharaj, it's fine, it's okay. And then more and more he's asking the same question, do you love your wife? It's okay, he was kind of answering casually. Then he told me the story himself. Tamal Krishna Maharaj got on his case severely. He told me, unless you love your wife, one day you will leave her, because life will become so tough at times. You will leave her. And I remember he told me that story 20 years ago. And that struck me. That struck me. I think it's a beautiful story that explained it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Also,
cannot. You cannot.
there's a lot of cheating going, extramarital affairs going also,
In Philadelphia?
No, in general, I've seen, like
Yeah,
people
that's another
married
point.
and and the husband attracted to as a woman, like, leave the wife.
Yeah. Yeah, because they didn't take it, or they didn't investigate the step to deeply. It's you
There's
can
a
see
lot of
ISKCON is still very new movement, very very new movement. I mean, we have to be honest. It was incorporated in '66.
Yeah, I know so many devotees, like from my OIs and married, it's okay. Second married, sometimes the first one doesn't work. They marry, okay, second doesn't work, then marry third time, fourth time,
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes second marriage, the first time maybe you make the wrong choice, like it's Kali Yuga. But the 3, 4 time, in front of my own eyes, like I've seen.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've seen that also.
And this, it just, there's a not,
That's why it's so important to address the issue within the marriage.
yeah,
There's I don't know if you know this guru, is Italian guru. Matsyavatar
yeah, Macha, yeah,
is Italian guru. I think he's
yeah.
Pakistani even.
Oh, he's guru now?
Oh yeah, I've always been a guru for a long, long time.
Yeah, when I was in Italy, I used to live there.
Oh, you used to live in Italy?
Yeah, I live in Villa Vrindavan for
When?
2 years. I live in Rome and Villa Vrindavan. I serve there.
Wow, so you speak Italian?
I used to speak a little bit because I know a little bit French. I was thinking in French and talking because nobody speak English.
And
Yeah,
how long were you in Italy?
about 2 years.
Wow, you've been around, huh?
Yeah, I've been around so many places. 17, 18 countries,
Oh, that's good. And your husband used to follow you all everywhere?
I, you it's not me. I used to follow him.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Anyway, this Maharaj, he wrote an article. He said there's a difference between following with your wife or following with another's wife. It's not the same fault. So my point is that if devotees, they should marry someone of the same liking. If you marry someone who's more advanced than you, it's going to be difficult to address your issues.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So we have to make sure, otherwise that creates the major problem, Like sex life it's a tiny thing, but if you don't address it, it becomes enormous. I've seen that in many couples. They don't address it. And that takes over the whole mind of the person because it's not satisfied. Whereas if it was addressed with honestly, with someone, a girl or a man who understands the other, then it's not a big issue. It's not a big issue. It becomes regulated. But if you put it under the carpet in the name of, oh, no, it's not proper to discuss that.
Yeah.
Then you can rest assured that you're going toward a major difficulty, perhaps in 5 years, 10 years. Because one of the two will transcend. Yes, why not? But the other will not transcend. And then at one point he wants to expose his problem on the table, and the other person will say, wow, you haven't gotten purified at all. And then the other pass judgment, and the other person feels totally mortified. And he says, sorry, yeah, we don't match. Sorry, better we part.
We part, yeah. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes this is, let's be honest, this is the crack of the matter, Whereas I have seen devotees, of the same feathers, as we say.
Yeah.
Devotees of the same feathers flock together. They have the same kind of guna karma, they're quite in love, they're quite, cozy and cuddly.
Yeah.
And you
they,
see that
they like each other company, they're always together.
they're always together. And you may pass judgment, well, look at them, they're a bit in Maya, but you see them 5 years
it's
later.
very important to hold a marriage, sometimes.
Yeah.
But we were not taught like that,
But this is we and then you see them 6, 7 years down the line, they're quite happy, still together, 1 or 2 kids, and they're doing good stuff in Krishna consciousness,
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. There was no proper training,
Yeah.
There was no proper training,
No proper training.
And well, now we're paying the price,
Yeah. But now the paradigm is changed. There's no such kind of
Yeah,
ashram
it's changing.
Now, but nowadays, most of the people, Rasta, they live, they have a job. Before, like you live like brahmachari,
Yeah.
we live like that. It depends on the temple,
Yeah.
But nowadays, it's a little bit changed. Like everybody, having a job and
Yeah, we are coming from a different generation, basically.
yeah. Mm,
Anyway, I'm over. I'm finished, Goloka. So
Hare Krishna.
it's not rocket science. It's those Panchanga Bhakti,
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Finish with Varnasrama and Sadhana Bhakti. Yeah.
yeah, as I said, Raghav Maharaj would give a different class than me. I know he will, and I love his classes. I mean, he has a very good approach. He's not fanatical. He's very humble and submissive and low profile. But when he speaks, he has humbly admitted many ISKCON leaders don't get it. They think, oh, Varnashram is, it's secondary, it's okay, but you can see the results. Why such a high rate of divorce?
Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
We can say Kali Yuga also.
Yeah, Kali Yuga, of course.
It is in the outside world, even in India, there's so much divorce nowadays.
Of course, you cannot compare because many people, non-devotee people, they don't even get married, so you cannot compare the how do you call it, the figures, because in ISKCON you cannot do that, live with someone without being married. So in Europe, especially France, lots of people, they have 2-3 kids, they're not even married. So you know what I'm saying? So they don't divorce, or they have a system in France which is quite demonic. They call it paxé. In other words, you're married, but you can divorce overnight. So they have totally removed the sacrament of the marriage. Like my sister is like that. She said, no, it's not a big deal. I'm married, but I can split tomorrow. Official, and it's official. It's totally legal and stuff. So they are kind of saying, well, marriage is too tedious, too much binding. So this is how demonic it has become, especially France. Just take it casually. Okay, I'll give you the stamp. You're married, but in case of difficulties, don't bother. So it calls for loose relationship, in society. America.
Yeah, in the West, in America, all kind of relationship,
Yeah.
it just very degraded.
Yeah. Okay, Goloka, take care.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll do chapter 14. It's not difficult.
And next week, Chandra coming now.
Very good point. How long has I been teaching now? How many weeks?
2 weeks. Last week and this week.
Yeah, I'm a little doubtful. Let me check with him. I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot. Hare Krishna. Take care.